Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk About with Bitfucky and Mr. Fun, the podcast where we will talk about everything. We will talk about anything. Quite frankly, we will talk about it all. Rockfish leading us in with a new song called Everywhere, which he sent to me this week with some feedback, by the way, which I'll come on to in a minute. But like the song a lot. I'll play it at the end of the podcast. Again, the song's called Everywhere. It's also on YouTube, and I will put the link in the show notes.
Does he have an album a new album coming out or something?
Don't know if he has a new album, but they're doing the concerts, which I talked about before. And now don't ask me for the dates. I will put those in the show notes as well. The dates of the shows there in Virginia. But I know he talked about recording with a pretty famous producer. I believe that could be the case. Again, losing my mind and not remembering what exactly that is, but oh well. It is somebody good.
Fame like surrounding us, you know.
Yeah, there is fame surrounding us. So, anyways, so Rockfish and the Rivermen, Everywhere is the song. I mentioned YouTube. We did post the YouTube channel after last week's episode with Joey Como. We have a channel which is Talk About _it all, which I believe is also our Twitter handle or something like that. Lucky, I'm looking to you.
Probably.
So, what can people expect when they go there?
They can expect to see 2.5 of us.
Okay, got it.
Because you will see me and Lucky and
right.
Mr. Fun. You'll see part of Mr. Fun. You'll hear all of Mr. Fun.
Right.
Only part of Mr. Fun
at
this point in time. But until that day, we can unveil who Mr. Fun is.
You can see the right side of Mr. Fun's eyes.
Yeah, you can see the right eye.
You can see the right eye. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
the best
good.
eye.
That's right. Mr. Fun, do you have a joke for us to start with?
Okay, this is so embarrassing. So I sent myself a few jokes on my iPad, assuming it would show up in the same text chat on my phone, and it didn't. So I'm flying a little blind today, but I remember them. I'll try to do my memory. Here we go. So it's Father's Day, right? So this oh wait, this has nothing to do with the father. So this kid, he's a teenager, and he's just filled with testosterone. And to his credit, he's well endowed as well. But when he gets near this one girl in his class, he can't help but get an erection every time he gets close to her, and he's really got a crush on her. So he decides to ask her out on a date, and she says by text message because he can't get close to her, and she says, "Yeah, I'd like to go on a date with you." So he preps himself by taping his penis to his leg. So he goes on the date, and he knocks on the door, and the girl opens the door, and she's wearing the sexiest dress he's ever seen, and he can't help himself, so he just kicked her in the head.
Wow.
One. Another good one.
Good one.
Good stuff. Hey, I'm going to go back to my notes here on Rockfish real quick. Sent it off the demo to Gene Parsons of the Byrds. I know the group The Byrds, a 60s, I guess, late 60s, early 70s band, maybe mid 60s. I'm sure I'll get corrected on that. So somebody famous has seen this and listened to the song and gave it his stamp of approval. So good for Rockfish.
So I'm watching a documentary on Netflix about Led Zeppelin. Did they were they the Byrds or the Yardbirds?
Yardbirds, I believe. Well, one of the members was in the Yardbirds. I don't know if it was Robert Plant.
Robert Plant, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah. I believe that to be the case. So we are not drinking Scotties, but I know Lucky's got the Scotties bottle on camera here. So we are, again, proud supporters of Scotties Vodka. Saw a big push in Dunkirk, Maryland this week on Instagram with Scotties. So they're making the rounds, so to speak. Did go to a crab cake factory in Delaware.
Yeah.
Doesn't serve Scotties.
I know.
I asked for
the one in Maryland does.
The one in Maryland does.
Yeah.
And the one in Delaware doesn't. So we need to start asking for Scotties at the crab cake factory on Route 54 outside of Fenwick Island. So with that, where in the world is JK? This week he is in Modesto, California and Pendleton, Oregon. Again, Western swing for JK. We are drinking something, though, in honor of Jim M.
Yeah, so Jim M was teasing me with the, what are they called again?
Fireball.
Fireball. And I recalled that I had bought a bottle when I was at Secrets Distillery Company of Wildfire. And it's very, very similar to Fireballs. Is that what it's called?
Fireball.
Yeah, right.
Fireball.
And so I made the Biffer do one shot before we went on air, and I'm going to do another one now.
It's Wildfire cinnamon flavored whiskey.
Show it on our camera.
From the Secrets Distillery. Oh, I'll show
Nice.
you want the bottle.
Mm.
That's what the bottle looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
But they get the door. There we go. Now everybody can see it.
I
So,
have a little promo.
Secrets, which they built a wedding chapel.
Yeah.
That is the industrial complex that is Secrets from multi-stage bar, which I heard holds 3,000 people. I think the bar does something like that.
Yeah.
Now they have a distillery and a wedding chapel.
Hey, so Father's Day, I asked my dad, I said, Dad, can you explain a solar eclipse to me? And he said, no, son. Okay.
Hey, here's something for you. I saw the stat. Okay, get this. Okay, get your arms around this, head around it.
Yes.
Nearly 8 in 10 Americans grew up with at least one sibling, making siblings a more ubiquitous presence in early life than fathers.
Okay, wait, say that again. So
Nearly
more than
8 in 10 Americans grew up
Right.
with at least one sibling,
yes,
making siblings a more ubiquitous presence in early life than fathers.
in modern America.
Can you
Okay.
can you use ubiquitous in another sentence, please?
Ubiquitous, I believe is
Your
what he
jokes
said.
are ubiquitous.
Yeah, they are.
Country of origin?
Yeah, so that's a modern American stat. Is that what you're telling
Yeah.
me, Lucky? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that somewhat makes sense, not to get into a sociology discussion or socioeconomics, but that has changed, right? There's a lot more kids being raised without fathers. Is that what I deduce from that?
So but my son dissected it a little bit, Mr. Math
Okay.
head, and he said, well, like if there's a single mom who's got 2 kids, you're already you've already
Right.
doubled the sibling count, versus the no dad count. So anyway, but I thought it was
Whoever coined the phrase dad bod was probably a great father figure.
Yeah. Just
What do
keep
you-
up.
So I saw that. What do you think makes a great dad in 2025? Like the dads of like the 60s and the 70s, the ones you see like on TV shows, there's father knows best s kind of dads. But what do you think makes a great dad today?
I would imagine, generally speaking, keeping your kids on the straight and narrow.
I think showing up, honestly, showing up. I mean, work has become so important, but you can't miss the ball games, the recitals, all that stuff, the graduation ceremonies. Showing up makes you a pretty good dad.
Yeah, I think to being there, given time, emotional intelligence is something they talk about. Like, because men typically aren't really great at that, but like the men who can, sort of with all the drama that happens with kids, being able to roll with the punches and be able to adapt and be able to give your kids good advice and guidance through all the drama of today.
Yeah, my dad. We used to call my dad a superhero. Yeah, we called him the Invisible Man.
I have a couple good dad quotes. I'm going to give you one right now. I'm going to save one to the end. But this is a quote from Steve Martin. A father carries pictures where his money used to be.
Oh, that's funny.
That's good. That's good.
So, my poor dad got the raw end. His birthday was yesterday. He turned 75, and then today is Father's Day. I didn't even give him a call today because I saw him yesterday.
Wow.
Well, but a lot of times his birthday's on Father's Day. Several times, I would imagine.
I don't think he's ever had it. It's usually a week. His it's like a week.
Before Father's Day seemed early this year. For some reason, I always thought it was toward 20.
The night is not over. Luck, you could still call your dad.
Oh, I know. I will. I'll probably give him a call.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I know.
Sorry.
So we mentioned Jim M. and his distaste for Fireball. Saw Jim M. and his wife Angie M. this week. Couple facts.
Yeah.
Jim M. Sitter peer. He sits and he pees.
Jim M.
He fessed up to it.
He was in the Army.
Yeah, I don't know if that
was he injured.
I don't.
Was there like an injury that occurred?
Again, there's plenty of people in my camp. And the more people get comfortable with telling me, it's like I'm the person they could come to.
Yeah.
And they tell me these things
because they've always felt like they were somehow like not normal their whole life.
No, that's right. Now they have the confidence. Now it gives them confidence.
Okay.
The other one Angie M. This is something you will never hear from somebody.
Choupie standing up.
Nope. That's very good.
That'd be impressive.
She throws this at us.
Mhm.
We're at the dinner with him the other night. She's a double amputee.
Oh, I'm so scared.
She had a bone spur on her toes. I forgot which toe it is. It must be the equivalent of like the middle toe on your foot. That on each toe. So they took out the bone
Right?
at the end of her toe, but they kept the skin and the toenail there.
Does she want you sharing this?
If she doesn't care, she
Okay.
should have shared it.
Okay.
So she's got these two toes which have been somewhat amputated, but she still has the toe and the toenail, or the skin and the toenail.
I couldn't be with her because
But
it
it's
floppy?
floppy. They call it the floppy toes.
I couldn't date her because I'm lactose intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant. Hey, there's this machinist, right? I just thought of this. There's this machinist, and he got 2 of his fingers cut off by the machine. So he goes to the doctor, and he says, I'm a machinist. He sews him up. He saves his life, whatever. He sews him up. He says, I'm a machinist. Will I be able to use my hand? And he goes, yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. Wouldn't count.
Okay.
I guess that
He
guy.
said,
Hey. He said, and then the final news of people coming over to my side.
Yeah.
Lucky.
what?
Wearing
Oh,
white shorts. He is halfway to White Pants City.
I don't know what happened. He was very vocal about making fun of you. And then
Oh,
I get a picture, he's very serious in the
Big
picture. but
difference
he's-
between wearing white shorts and wearing white pants.
I don't know, Mr. But you be the.
I don't think,
define it.
I just think white ain't right. White ain't right on a man's body. Maybe a t-shirt.
I'm very, again, comfortable white shorts,
Yeah.
white pants. I'm glad Lucky's on our side.
Yeah. All
the
right.
the
you
white
know,
pants crowd.
I'm not going there. Oh, what's happening? Do you hear that noise or is it just in my headset?
I don't know.
All right. I felt like I was underwater for a second. Sorry.
That's
Did
because
you
your
guys have
second,
good fun?
Sorry.
your
Did you guys
second
have
shot.
I would like a third shot just to get me primed. Can you pour one more? So I told my dad, I was telling bad dad jokes before I had kids. Is that a faux pas? Faux pas? Get it? Like a fake dad? No?
Oh my god.
Did you guys get showered with gifts from your children?
I got a small gift. Very happy for it, and from my daughter. So that's
Nice.
great. I'm going to see my other daughter this week. I shouldn't say small gift for my daughter. It's very nice. It's a digital frame, so we'll be able to load photos up of Lucky in his white shorts.
Got it.
I think we'll do that, and then go to Charlotte this coming weekend to see.
I got a replacement iPad and then I forgot to because I dropped it. Shattered. It was in a case, but it just hit the wrong way and it shattered. So
I did get a little Joey Como feedback from last week, again from Rockfish, which was, and I hadn't thought about it when he said it at the time, that he basically self-sabotaged his career by hitting on Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City.
he told us that.
No, meaning,
okay, yeah.
I mean, he was trying to act, and he was,
Yeah.
that didn't seem to end very well. And then he went to Ocean City to go golfing
Yeah, that was,
instead of
Yeah.
being.
what was interesting about the
Steven-
interview is he
Steven
said how
Spielberg.
he had this burning desire to be an actor.
Yeah.
And then he got an opportunity to play golf with his friends
Instead
instead
of
of being in a movie.
in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was good feedback. It was a interesting interview, and we're glad to have Joey on. So, Lucky, I know you've got a few things we want to cover today. What's on your list?
Well, okay. So the first one, I'll start off with this provocative question. I know, we're big music fans here. Biff. Anyway, how's your podcast? Did you have a podcast with music, or what are you doing? Something on?
It was on Instagram. It was
Yeah.
talk about great songs.
If you follow Biff's podcasting career, you can follow where podcasts go to die.
It's,
They're like all good ideas.
it was my problem with the Instagram thing was I was running into music copyright. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the algorithms would kick out songs, so you can't post it.
Yeah, it's a good idea
Oh.
though.
Yeah, so I was spending effort on it, and I had one or two that had probably 1,000 likes or something like that on a post. Mr. Fun's making me do a shot.
Yeah.
Here we go. And then it was just at this point I ran into some stumbling blocks with some major artists, so I was like, I'm out of it.
Yeah,
I have sent the
But-
book. I think I mentioned to the copyright.
but you
office.
still have sleepy speeches, right?
I haven't done one in forever.
Wow.
They still will put people to sleep.
Yeah. Wait, can you check if more people are watching them?
I
Listening to them?
Yeah, I can look.
Let's do that.
I can see. Oh,
All right,
okay.
so
Well, I'll
here's
do
the-
that.
Here's
We're
the
gonna
question.
go.
So if you're on a 10-hour road trip
Yeah.
and you can only listen to one music artist. Who's it going to be?
10-hour road trip.
Same.
I just because I know the breadth of work is so big, I'd probably go Beatles.
Wait,
Beatles?
one song or the
No,
one
one
artist?
artist.
Just one.
Yeah, it'd
track.
have to be the one with a lot of different songs, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a music guy. I mean, I listen to a lot of music, but I'm not a fan for some reason. Do you
I
have
would-
it? Look, do you have like the answer, like what other
Well,
people
no,
have
I
said?
have my opinion. I would.
Who do you
Okay,
got?
so I like the Grateful Dead, and I really like listening to the Sirius satellite radio station, the Grateful Dead, because they play all their live music from all the different eras in there. You know, from the '60s, '70s, '80s. It play them in concert. So I would listen to that station, and listen to the Dead for 10 hours straight. So,
Really?
yep.
Yeah. I mean, that somewhat makes sense. Yeah, but to Mr. Fun's point, why I said the Beatles, they have so many songs.
Yeah.
I think you would do that. I mean, at some point though, even at that, you would get tired of listening to the same artist for 10 hours. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
But and
Good.
then speaking of music, I've referenced this before. Awesome documentary on Netflix about the Led Zeppelin and how they got started, from when they were like teenagers into how they picked up music, etc., all the way through to them becoming icons in rock. So highly encourage you, if you're Led Zeppelin fans, watch that new documentary.
you did watch. We finished Sirens. Lucky.
Me too.
I will say I was not enamored with the ending.
That's so funny that you say that.
I didn't. I know you were high on it, Lucky. I thought the ending was weak.
I thought when it started that there was something like kind of weird supernatural going on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a good show with a disappointing ending.
Yeah.
Well,
and
was it disappointed? Were you surprised at the ending?
Yeah.
well, it was just a strange ending without going into it, so people
Yeah.
can watch the show. I just found it to be it was to me, it just wasn't a great ending. But I'll just leave it at that. But I was trying to think back. Obviously, Sirens is a mythological thing, right?
Yeah. They're like, what are they? Like
That make the sounds and people got crashed.
they-
They
are
crashed
they-
on the rocks, right?
are
Isn't that
they-
what the whole thing?
are they
is?
mermaids?
I don't know if they're mermaids or whatever,
They're
but so
they're
you're
mystical women who
Yeah.
who draw in people from the sea,
Yeah.
and with their voices and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out how exactly that played into it, right? Because it's obviously the name was Sirens, and what's the mystical or mythological part of it?
Well,
And it didn't
the
quite
character, they
make
had the
sense.
little cultish kind of thing of,
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
women's club, kind of thing. You can probably say that, but then I think the women had these spells over the men, in the movie, in the series. That could be.
What are you watching right now?
I just watched and finished watching Friends and Neighbors.
Yeah. It's great. I thought that was great.
Did
That's
you
on
watch it
Apple,
all the way
right?
to the end?
Yeah. All the way to the end.
Yeah.
We watched, what was the studio?
I haven't watched it.
Also on Apple. Very
Right.
good. Had probably, I'd say out of the 8 or 10 episodes, I'd say 2/3 are very good, very
Yeah.
funny. They're short, and we're watching Stick now, which is the golf one also on Apple, I believe, which
Yeah.
is with Owen Wilson.
I heard the Osama bin Laden documentary is good. I think it's 3 parts. Heard that's really good. We're into something called, I think it's called Operation Q.
Don't know.
Operation Q.
Do
That's what
not
it's
know it. So good.
Yeah.
What else?
A couple things. I saw this, and I don't know why this. I don't know if the rock paper scissors competition is about to come on, but there was a lot of discussion in social media this week on the best options with the game rock paper scissors. So is that something you guys play often, or like as a way to decide who's going to win something or start something? You guys play
Back
that
in the day
frequently?
when I was younger.
I know. No would be the
Yeah,
short answer.
yeah.
Not that I played it in the last 10 years. Probably. I just don't know. And it's what's the go-to move? That's your question, or that's the underlying. What's the
that's
statistics?
basically what was been discussed. So here's for those of you who play this game frequently, or the next time you're going to play it, paper is the best option on the first throw in a game of rock paper scissors when playing against inexperienced players, because they tend to lead with rock.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, and
You win.
scissors is
You
the
win.
best option on the
I've had
first
3 shots
throw
go ahead.
against
Wait,
experienced
scissors?
players, because they
Wow.
won't lead with rock as it's too obvious.
Wow.
Really?
File
Here
up.
we go, Mr. Fun. Ready?
Rock,
Now,
paper,
how do you go? 1, 2, 3, or what?
rock, paper, scissors, go, right? Shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, right?
Yep, that's it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Crush those scissors. I crushed them with the rock.
Okay.
You know what?
I thought you were experienced.
You know what's? I know. You know what's? I used the psychology there. It was reverse psychology. Hey, you know what? You know what's grosser than two lesbians running with scissors? Two lesbians scissoring with the runs.
Oh no, that's pretty good. I like that.
Okay.
You just make that one up on the fly.
And now, okay, no. As I am the joke historian.
Oh, I've said it before.
You see, you said that joke.
Wait, let me.
It's been a long.
Let me get the last dad joke out of the way. Where does a guy like me keep his bad dad jokes? In his database.
It's like you laugh more about that.
And just I know you guys are big fans of Beaver, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Fun.
Justin
Beaver.
Beaver. That's who I would drive across the country listening to, or whatever that.
Leave it to.
Yeah,
Beaver.
Leave by Beaver.
I saw this in Portugal. The beaver has not been present for the last 500 years, and after centuries of absence, the European beaver is back in Portugal.
I didn't know. This is so naive. I thought that it was native to America only.
Beavers.
Yeah. Well,
the European beaver is
right.
Is
the European beaver historically hairier than the American beaver?
I think.
Is there bald beaver in Brazil mostly? Like where's the hairless beaver? Is that
Brazil?
Is that
I think
Brazil?
you got it right.
Mostly Brazil. Okay.
I think in the North America, they sometimes have bald beavers as pets.
As pets. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that took a turn.
Now, do people name their beavers in Portugal? Do they ever name them? No.
The Portuguese
like
beaver.
what? Like what would be a
like Kitty?
Portuguese
Kitty or
Kitty.
Or
was it?
What's a Portuguese name? Like is that?
Wasn't that the first dog that we did? The oldest dog, wasn't it Portuguese at one time? Then we found out it was Peruvian.
Yes, we had the wrong pig.
We had the wrong.
Wow,
we had the wrong
time
pig.
ago.
Our friend JY was in Portugal all week. Maybe he can come back and tell us about the beaver.
The Portuguese beaver. Very rare.
Very rare.
Especially for JY.
Anyway, that's all the news that's fit to print from me this week.
All right.
So Rob G from Severna Park and I spent some time together, and he threw a word out that I'm not sure I can even say.
What is it?
Ignominious.
Yeah.
Ignominious?
Yeah.
I can't even say it. It's he dropped it. Ignominious.
Oh.
That's the word. Ignominious. Ignominious. Do you know what it means?
No, I've heard it. Let me think about this. Ignominious. It's I don't know.
It's almost like is it
a small guy named Iggy.
Yeah. Ignominious. That's very
I've
good.
heard the word.
Yeah. So it was. He used it as a talking about the. I can't remember the exact subject, but it was the context of somebody that was deserving of their fate, of like a defeat. And I looked it up. It says deserving or causing public disgrace or shame.
He used it in a sentence.
He used it in a sentence
to be a smart guy.
Because I think it all comes down to me. Last year at some point, I used the word bucolic. So now people like to come up with words,
right?
So he has now said that each week he's going to provide us a word.
Okay, you guys are kind of worldly. I have a word.
Okay.
And I've never heard it, but I wouldn't be surprised if either of you or both of you know it. It's non-riparian or non-riparian.
Spell it.
NON-RIPARIAN. Never heard it in my life.
No, I've never heard of it.
I had a person asking me if I was familiar with this particular thing that was non-riparian. And I was like, I said, yeah, and I have a lot of experience. And then they said it again. And I was like, all right, I got to come clean.
What was the context?
It was a property that was non-riparian. Yes.
Huh.
It means that you own the house and it is facing the water, but you don't own the land in this context. You don't own the beach.
Oh.
You don't own the beach.
It's almost like the view shed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not exactly.
Yeah. So this particular property had a street, then the beach, then the bay, and it was a non-riparian property.
So they didn't own the beach.
It was public.
Public beach.
But they're waterfront in some way.
Okay, but they can't put a dock on it.
Right. It's not theirs.
Right.
It's not theirs.
That's a big problem in like Malibu,
Yeah.
right? Where the people want their public beaches in front of the houses, but the owners.
Why don't they just say
houses there?
you're not allowed to put a pier there?
Because they want to be like Biff. They want to pretend to be smart
Like
wordsmiths.
90% of the people are not going to. They're not going to understand what you're talking about.
It was great that she said it to me twice, and finally I just came clean. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And so, yeah. was it really important that you knew that
Because the value
of the
property is that it faces the bay, but are you aware that it's riparian?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was important. That was important.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys think I was in the Urban Dictionary the other day and I came up with sporking? Anybody know what sporking is?
Using a spoon and fork. It was the thing that you got at Kentucky Fried Chicken,
That's what a
right?
spork is.
That's a
But in
spork.
the Urban Dictionary, what's sporking, Lucky?
Is it some kind of sexual position?
Yes, that is spooning with an erection. You are
yeah.
sporking if you're doing that. Makes some sense now. Can you visualize it, Biff?
Have you ever heard? Did we ever talk about soaking?
Yes.
The Mormon thing?
Yes.
Did
We
you
did.
remember that, Lucky?
Remind me.
It's a Mormons aren't allowed to have premarital sex, but they came up with this device of
Not device.
or this whatever it was,
Practice.
practice where that they would the guy would you would I don't know how to say this, he'd insert himself in the girl, but he would just sit there. He wouldn't move.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
So there was no hip thrusting or whatever. But then they would have somebody else. The rumor was that they could bounce up and down on the bed. And it was this whole thing. It was called soaking.
Fucking Mormons.
Well, that's what.
I think that's worth a try. That sounds great.
It is worth a try. I heard somebody talking about frogging the other day. You gotta have strong legs.
That was
to frog somebody.
that was in Kiltony.
It was in Kiltony, yeah.
That was
So
is that
good.
the same thing, just from behind?
No, frogging is where you, as the male, get in a frog-like position, like a catcher, almost like a catcher. We talked about that too. And you perform, you have sex, but you're in a catcher stance, a frog-like stance.
Okay.
Look at Lucky. He's really thinking that
Take it
through.
down. Take it
Yeah.
slow.
You gotta have strong calves, I think.
What? So
Hey,
what-
so there's this woman, and she has triplets, and she decides to name them Tim, Tom, and Tat.
wait, what was the last one?
Tim, Tom, and Tat. Those are
Tom and
triplets.
Tat.
Yeah. She decides to breastfeed them, and she looks down, and Tom is on a breast, and Tim is on a breast, and she realized there was no tip for Tat.
Tip for Tad? Tip for
Tad.
Tad.
Tit for tat. If
Give me one more of those shots.
no,
Give me one more of those shots.
you're not staying at my house today.
Oh, no. I'm walking home.
All right. If you guys had to get here, I saw this other thing too. It's day 186 of the year. How much of the year do you think is what percent is complete already? Just
What is
quick,
it?
like out
Well,
of your
day 186 would
Hey,
be
don't do the
just
math,
under
just like-
half, like 48%.
yeah, 45% of the year is already complete.
Right. Doesn't it seem unfair that the longest day of the year from the sun standpoint is next week, right? And summer really, well, yes, technically it sort of has started post Memorial Day. It's just starting, and now the longest day is already going to be in our rearview mirror.
Hey, let's do something. This is I'm totally freaked out by this sometimes. What year in your mind, I don't know if I'm going to say this the right way, is the most memorable? Like for me, I remember as a kid, born in 1965, thinking 1976 would be a great year because everybody was talking about the bicentennial. Then I remember the year 2000. Then for some reason, I remember the year I turned 30 being a big deal for me. Do you have a year in your mind that you like kind of looked forward to and what happened that year or anything? Anything like that, or is that just
1991
me?
when I graduated college? I
What
remember
was it?
that year. I remember 1991 being a year that I looked forward to when I started college to get out of college.
I never knew if and when I was gonna graduate college, so that wasn't important to me at the time.
But you're saying always look forward to, or in hindsight,
And
you
no, it
realize
was
it's a
something
bit-
that when you were a kid, you're like, gosh, when I'm 30, it's going to be 1995. And the bicentennial is 1976. Like, do you remember anything?
I always the one number that always stuck in my mind was 65, because we were born in 65.
Yeah.
You go backwards, it was 1900,
Yeah.
right? And if you went forward, it's 2030. I always remember that number,
2030.
2030, because that's
So in 2030, we'll be 65 years old.
right.
What about 1999? We're going to party like it's 1999.
I remember being freaked out about Y2K.
Me
We
too.
talked about this. I think we talked about this, and that was
People scared the shit out of us.
yeah. It was again. I believe it was probably Microsoft scaring us at that point in time.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy how the world was going to come to an end. It felt like it at the time, or banking was for sure. You didn't know if your money was going to be there the next day.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Hey, talk to our audience, just because this is a shameless self-promotion of our show. What's so cool about YouTube? You go on there, and now you can hear us and see us.
You can see us. Well, 2.5 of us.
Yeah.
So just-
And we think that should that will make us go viral.
I think it will help. It will help.
Yeah.
I think for sure. I think what it'll also make us do is maybe change our format.
Yeah.
The way we sit around a table like we are now.
Yeah.
Versus you see a lot of YouTube shows where they're sitting on a couch
Oh,
or sitting in a chair.
I like sitting on a couch.
You're a Theo Vaughn guy, right?
Yeah.
He sits in one chair and the other guy sits in the other chair,
Okay.
typically, right? That's
Yeah.
how they do it.
Yeah.
But it allows us to do the remote. And it gives me a little bit, I feel better about doing remotes because we can see this on camera. Although Lucky looks blurry right now, we'll see.
A little bit blurry.
But hopefully that
Could be the shots.
It could be the shots.
It
for
could
us.
be the shots.
But anyway, so we'll try to build it out. It also allows us to do some little clips that we can post online.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then maybe ultimately do the baby thing.
But that's two people.
Yeah. Well, again, there's only 2 of us right now.
That's true.
So you might not be on there.
That's true.
It could be
So,
lucky
but,
with 2 babies.
That Lucky and the 2 babies. That's right.
Yeah. You know, my boss almost fired me the other day for my. I was obsessed with optical illusions. He said it's not what it looks like.
You said that joke.
I did.
That was like
last week.
Well, I think it was
You said
last
that
week.
one last week.
Give me another shot.
I think you said that. I'm not sure another shot's going to help.
All right,
you.
give me
About
another
that. So that's
You may start telling the same jokes from earlier in the podcast if you have more.
yeah. You know,
I think I had a stroke. In the middle of the podcast, just blubbering stuff.
How you getting
Blabbering.
home, Mr. Fun?
I'm walking.
you're walking.
It's a 20-minute drive. How long is it going to take me to walk?
So have you changed your drink this summer, Mr. Fun, or are you going to stick with something?
I am, Scotty's a club with a lime when it's available.
Okay.
Sometimes I get really crazy and I put a splash of cranberry in there.
And are you still going hard on the orange crushes?
No, I prep myself. I like sometimes I do an orange crush and then I go to the
Okay.
yeah, because I'm trying to lose weight and I think that orange crush with the sugar and stuff could be an issue.
They have skinny orange crushes. You know that.
Yeah, that sucks. They also have skim milk.
I've been pounding the transfusions recently: grape
Yeah.
juice, ginger ale, and Scotty's.
Yeah, we can see it. Your skin is taking on a grape tone, as we can see here. So it's
I haven't been spending a lot
again.
of time outside. I do have a nice tan.
Yeah, you look good.
Look at
You look
that.
good.
Look at good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right. Well, we are nearing the end, and Mr. Vaughn, you have told it may be record number of jokes
You think?
today,
All right.
but do you have any more?
Yeah. So
Of the risque variety.
this kid goes to the rodeo with his mom and dad, and his dad's parking the car, and he's walking down the fence line with his mom. They're looking at the rodeo, and they come upon the most enormous bull, the giant bull that they have at the rodeo. So, if you've ever been to a rodeo, you've probably seen this.
I've been to a rodeo.
Are there bulls?
Yes.
All right, good. So the giant bull, and the kid's about that perfect size. He looks across, and he can't help but notice the bull has this enormous cock, and it's just hanging from below him. And he says to his mom, he goes, "Mom, what's that?" And she goes, "Son, you could talk to your dad, but that's nothing. That's nothing." So the mom uses the ladies' room when the dad comes back from parking the car. And the son goes, he relates the story. He says, "We're walking down the fence line and we saw that bull over there, Dad. And what's that enormous thing that is hanging from his belly?" Mom said, "It's nothing." And the guy just smiles and he goes, "I've been spoiling that bitch for years, haven't I?"
Ooh.
Because, he thought his was bigger than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't even get a good one.
Talk about
Okay.
2023 at gmail.com.
Thank you, Lucky. Lucky, we've done this so long. Lucky is he is answering the
I'm trained.
questions before I even ask them. It's that good. So, well, this has been fun,
I'm
Mr. Fun.
I'm done.
Mr. Fun.
That was a rough 40 minutes or whatever this is.
Lucky, it's
Your
been
jokes
great
are great.
seeing
What are you
you.
talking about?
I don't know. I thought they had a lot of father jokes in there. You know, a lot of dad jokes.
A lot of father jokes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get a little serious as we're closing now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had this quote in my back pocket. I told my
Oh.
kids at dinner tonight, and I think I saw my son maybe shed a tear.
Okay.
A father is neither an anchor to hold us back, nor a sail to take us there, but a guiding light whose love shows us the way. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
I just threw up in my shot glass.
Trying to be serious. I'm trying to offset all the fun and all the jokes with some serious stuff on here.
No, that was nice. That was nice.
Well, good seeing you guys and everybody again. You can if you're hearing this on the normal podcast stuff, go over to YouTube to talk about _it all, and you can see 2.5 of us as we've established.
Yeah.
And we will continue to do it until we do it again next time. Let me just say goodbye.
I enjoyed that.
There's a road outside my house. Take you anywhere you want to go. Just get me to the river where I can flow with the flow. Maybe it's the highway wide or the way. Follow me, see. Yeah, everywhere is where I want to be. Went out for a short trip, but you know how those things go. A couple of days become a couple of weeks, become a couple of months or so. Whiskey never trips me up, it's always been the wine. Liquor makes me friendly, but the drink keeps me out of mind. There's a road outside my house, take you anywhere you want to go. Just get me to the river where I can flow with the flow. Maybe it's the highway wide or the way. Follow me, see. Yeah, everywhere is where I want to be. Met a lady, you know, and right across the bay. Well, she fixed on me right from the start as a man who likes to play. She had a face like the girl next door, but she had a deadly smile. She asked me to play poker, only asked why. There's a road outside my house, take you anywhere you want to go. Just get me to the river where I can flow with the flow. Maybe it's the highway wide or the way. Follow me, see. Yeah, everywhere is where I want to be. Went down to Cape Charles,